Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. How about we start out with a light introduction of each one of you. You are?
I am Judeo.
Jojo from?
Eastside.
Eastside.
Safa from Safa.
Safa from Eastside.
Rubab from Eastside.
Rubab from Eastside.
Sarah from Eastside.
Sarah from Eastside.
Annie from Eastside.
Annie from Eastside.
Amen from Eastside. Amen.
Amen from Eastside.
Elliot from Eastside.
Elliot.
Elliot.
Eastside.
Asma.
Asma. I think I know Asma. From Eastside. Where are you from? Marcus. What's going on? Eastside. So we're here this evening to talk with the students from Eastside about some of the basic elements of the lives of the prophets and the Islamic view on the prophets in the Quran. And hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk to each other. I want to thank the Clean family for hosting us. I think it's a great thing when people open up their home and allow us to come and gather, and hopefully we can develop a level of understanding. How many of you here have had the opportunity to read the Quran? Whether it's a chapter, a verse, how many of you have seen the Quran at least once in a lifetime? Okay, so what I like to do is talk about, as we have agreed upon, is the Quranic teachings as it pertains to the lives and our view and our belief system as it pertains to some of the most significant prophets in the Revelation. In the Quran, the most mentioned prophet, who do you think it is? Who would you say? If you had to guess, just a wild guess. If there's any prophet you think is most mentioned in the Holy Quran, a book revealed more than 1430 something years ago to the beloved Prophet Muhammad from the gates of Arabia, who would you think is the most mentioned prophet in this book? Muhammad. Good guess. What about you? Muhammad, mashallah. Let me see. What about you? What do you say?
I'd also say Muhammad.
You would say Muhammad. Great. Who would you say? Muhammad. Okay. Well, who would you say?
Muhammad.
Mashallah. And you?
Muhammad.
Mashallah. Well, I got news for you. He's not. The most mentioned prophet in the Holy Quran by name is Prophet Moses. He is the most mentioned prophet by name. The Holy Quran, I'm going to read from the second chapter, which is called Baqarah, which means the cow. Surah Al-Baqarah is the second chapter of the Holy Quran. I'm going to read just a few verses from the beginning, and then I'm going to read the verses pertaining to the prophets, and then we'll discuss those prophets. So with your permission, I'm going to read a little bit of the Arabic, and then we do the English translation. Is that okay? Is that cool, Eastside? Okay. The beginning of Baqarah says, Aleph, Lam, Mim. These are three letters. Only the Creator knows what is intended by its revelation, but it is reminded to us that we know very little. If we live for 1,000 years, each and every one of us here, and we studied the world as we know it, there would still be knowledge that we have not even discovered. So we are, as human beings, we have great potential for intellectual growth and development, but we also have limitations. So it says, Aleph Lam Mim. This is the second chapter of the Quran entitled Surah Al-Baqarah. He says, this is the book. In it, there's no doubt for those who are God conscious, who have intellectual awareness. He says, Aleph Lam Mim, Dhalika Kitabu, La Rayba Fihi, Hudan Lil-Muttaqin. That the book is revealed for the purpose of guidance. It is a blueprint for life. He says, those that believe in the oneness of God, who believe in the unseen, and they are the people who they establish the worship of God, and they are forever spending their time, their resources, their intellectual property in the cause of what is good for humanity. He said, these are those who they shall be called successful. Now, in the Holy Quran, there's a verse in the same chapter. This is the chapter Baqarah. If you ever pick up a Holy Quran, it's going to be the second chapter for those of you that would like to read on. This is verse 136. Verse what? What? 136. So this is what the Quran says. For those of us who are familiar or unfamiliar with the text, it reads. It says, Qul, say. Qul. It says, Qalu or Qalu. Qalu amanna. Say. آمنا بالله وما أنزل إلينا وما أنزل إلى إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق ويعقوب والأسباط وما أوتي عيسى وما أوتي موسى وعيسى وما أوتي النبيون من ربهم لا نفرق بين أحد منهم ونحن له مسلمون. This is a very important verse. It says, they say, we believe in the Creator. Now, you guys are in a very perfect position because as students in this modern technology, you have the ability to research anything you want on the internet. And you can find legitimate sources. So the name Allah, as we know it, is an Arabic name, meaning the Creator, the deity, the one to be worshipped. They say we believe in the Creator, the one God. And we believe in all the revelation that has been revealed, and it starts out with, we believe, and this is one of the pillars of Islam, Muslims, we believe in all the prophets, all of them. It says we believe in what was given to Ibrahim, or we know him as Abraham, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, who is known, Yaqub is the prophet Jacob, who at one point became known as the prophet named Israel. So the Muslims believe in Israel as a prophet. And we believe in Moses, and we believe in Jesus, and we believe in what has been given to the prophet, peace be upon him, and all the prophets. And it says, and we make no distinction between any of them, and we are those who have surrendered our will to do God's will. Now, one of the most important things that I want to share with you is that what is the purpose of prophets who they become messengers? When the Creator chooses prophets and messengers, they're chosen with a very specific purpose. One of their main purposes is to educate the people, to bring a message of enlightenment, to guide the people. And in guiding the people, they guide them first to the purpose of life, which we believe that the purpose of life is service. Some will say worship, but we believe that we were created by the Creator to serve. Not only to serve God, but to serve each other as a people. So, for the Muslim, we believe in all the prophets. I believe in Jesus as the Messiah. I believe in Moses, that he received the Torah, and that he was sent specifically for the liberation of the children of Israel. We believe in the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a man who received the message from the Creator for the guidance of all of humanity. We believe in Abraham and the righteousness of Abraham. And as a Muslim, we don't say any one of them is better. I don't say that Muhammad is better than any prophet. No. All the prophets are beloved servants of God, and all of them will be given their reward by God. But as a believer in accepting their message, I don't impose any distinction between any of them. Now, one of the things that is important for those of you that may not be familiar is that in Islam, we believe as Muslims that we have a direct contact with the Creator. That if I want to pray to God, I can just go pray to God. Whether it's in Arabic, English, French, Chinese, Spanish, if I want to speak to the Creator, I can speak. I don't need to go to a prophet or go to a holy person and ask that person to talk to God on my behalf. In Islam, we believe as human beings that we have the power and the ability to speak directly to the Maker. So as a Muslim, we believe that all of these prophets were sent with a message. And that message will differ from time to time based upon the conditions of the people of their time. So for example, we have laws today that we would not need 50 years ago. Can you think of a law that we have today we would not need that law 50 years from back, 50 years ago? Anything you could think that's new, that required a new law, that 50 years ago, people wouldn't even discuss it.